Yeah, hi. Alrighty, folks, ladies and gentlemen. So it's official. Edge is in AEW. He's all elite, and he's no longer part of WWE. As a big Edge fan, Edge is one of my favorites of all time. So it's definitely kind of like, it is bittersweet. Definitely him no longer being part of WWE, because when you think of Edge, you think his career is in the WWE, and he's been one of the. He's basically been part of one of the. He's been part of WWE's moment. He's been in so many big moments that happened in WWE. If you think about it, a lot of moments involved with WWE have involved him, and he's one of the reasons. He's one of the most popular wrestlers that have been part of WWE, and it is that bittersweet that WWE basically are dumb enough to let this guy go. That they rather showcase a lot of boring indie fucking jobbers who have no character, no persona, no stories to tell, unlike a great storyteller like Edge. Okay? And it sucks that now, with Edge being in WWE, or in AEW, we won't see another Edge and John Cena match. We won't be able to see a match like them having at WrestleMania. We missed out on the dream matches like him versus fucking Brock Lesnar, him versus like so many other guys that he never got to face. There's honestly a few guys he could have faced in WWE that he's never gonna sadly ever gonna face. And the idea of him you know how you talk about people finishing the story with Cody Rhodes finishing the story of him winning the world title? If anything, I wanted to see Edge finish his story and winning back the title. He never lost. Unfortunately, he was not able to do that. And I do think WWE is dumb enough to let a guy who is a legend like Edge going from WWE, and they let him go because they fucking want to focus on, I don't know, shitty wrestlers. And yeah, it's like, wow. And the trade-off. CM Punk, we're getting CM Punk now, and Edge is going to AEW. If anything, that's like a lame trade-off to me, because I like Edge more than CM Punk. I'm not saying I don't like CM Punk, but come on here. Edge is so much better than CM Punk. It's like, that's to me a lame trade-off. And again, it's also, and I know this, like, here's the problem. I know, like, we're gonna probably get, like, labeled, I'm gonna probably get labeled that I'm a WWE fan. Again, I love wrestling. I love pro wrestling. I'm a pro wrestling fan. But I hate modern wrestling. And that goes for both WWE and AEW. If anything, there's no difference. I'm not, people think I'm a fucking WWE show because I'm going to talk about like why I don't like Edge going to AEW or whatever. Because, again, I don't like current WWE. I want WWE to get better. I want WWE to be back what it used to be back in the day when it was good. But unfortunately, it won't because it's just how it is with modern wrestling and PC shit. AEW is not this great fucking fed that people pretend it is. It's really just a glorified indie fed with a lot of money. Okay? But at least it does have Edge now, so it does make people a bit intrigued. But you have to understand, this is the problem with guys like if Edge being there. Here's the thing. I do see AEW getting a bit of an increase in their ratings. I'm not denying that. But it's not going to be a long-term thing that their ratings are going to be very high. And I'm going to say why. The problem with this is that with Edge, I'm not saying he's not a draw. He's definitely more a draw than CM Punk in my opinion. But here's the problem. AEW has Chris Jericho. They have Sting. They have Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. They have all these former WWE guys that were popular. And they still are getting low ratings. Now with Edge in AEW, will he really save the ratings? Will he be really a big factor in him being in AEW? Will he really bring up the ratings? It's not going to be a long-term thing. That's the fucking problem. Because you have to understand, the problem with Edge being AEW, he is still, like, sure, he's going to be a big fish in a small pond, really. But the problem with this is that AEW has established that to not be a big draw, they don't bother to cater to casual viewers. They don't bother to really be a show that caters to everybody. That's why they're not going to keep people watching this show. What, 3 minutes of Edge on a segment. And then after that, Edge when Edge is gone from, like, when he's gone from the show, when we already get like an Edge segment or even an Edge match, you think you're gonna get people to still watch the entire show when Edge is not on that specific after that segment? You're gonna get your ratings lowered unless Edge is on TV. That's the thing. That's what they have to understand. That Edge, like, what I mean by that is, like, AEW established themselves too much as a glorified indie fed where they cater to smarky fans, where they cater to they don't really try to cater to casual viewers. They don't want to they act basically they cater to these fat neck-bearded mongoloid smarks who are nerdy gay weirdos. They cater to those weird type of fans that don't care about storylines and characters and whatever. They care about those. They cater to those weirdos. And that's going to drive people away from watching AEW. Even people who have never watched AEW before and they're going to watch for Edge. You think those people are going to still watch when they can fucking see guys like fucking Nyla Rose or fucking Orange Cassidy or fucking let alone fucking other gay jobbers? Like, who the fuck does care about these wrestlers? A lot of these wrestlers are not entertaining. And that's one of my problems with Edge going to AEW. Edge, as a wrestler, should not be losing to people. And I don't want to see Edge losing these boring jobbers. Unless the only wrestlers who he should be losing to are people who probably beat him before or he has a story with. The only exceptions of matches, again, like, what are really the dream matches of Edge being in AEW? Like, I don't really want to see him versus a lot of these gay, boring jobbers, in my honest opinion. The only matches I'd rather him see are just people he faced before in WWE. That's all. And we can see those matches happen again. Him versus the Hardys again. Matt and Jeff in singles matches. Him versus Chris Jericho. Obviously, that main idea of him versus Christian is intriguing. That's it. The only matches, like, I think that I'm only intrigued of that is matches they have not seen before and that are like dream matches in a way. Maybe him versus Sting. Maybe. I don't fucking know. Just basically him facing guys who are established. Oh, what about him versus Kenny or Ricky Starks? Like, no, that's fucking gay. That's fucking gay. I don't want to see... That's the thing. I don't want to see Edge losing to these gay jobbers. That's the problem. You have a guy like Edge who's basically, like, should be treated as one of the biggest stars who should not lose to people. If anything, the guy is fucking credible to be the fucking world champion. You should definitely make him a fucking world champion. Bar none. And the guy should be one of your top stars no matter what. If you want to showcase your company is good. That's going to be my fear, is having him lose to these boring jobbers, and it's going to ruin his kind of stock. It's going to ruin his sort of prestige as a top star. That's the problem. Another problem, and this is what people are not talking about, is that AEW is not a safe company. They're not. You have to understand Edge retired originally for a reason. He retired back in 2011 because of a neck injury. His histories of neck issues. After what happened lately with fucking Ray Phoenix and Jon Moxley and all these injury scares about these wrestlers, you really think AEW is going to be safe enough to make sure Edge is okay? You have to understand, and this is my biggest fear now with Edge being in AEW, is that he is going to get hurt. And I hope he does not get hurt. That's my fear. That is my fear of Edge probably getting hurt. Because this is not, let's be honest here, it is not really a safe company as WWE. Like, whether we hate WWE nowadays because it's so fucking politically correct and they're, not as hardcore as it used to be. Like or not, if Edge was still in WWE, he has more chances of being safe there than him getting injured in AEW. And this is, again, Edge is not a young guy. He has more chance of not getting hurt than ever. He is getting older. And again, I don't have a problem him being old. And that's the fucking thing about AEW, and that's what I don't like. It's funny, all the AEW fans are happy now that Edge is in AEW. Isn't that funny? They bash these guys, these part-timers, that, them, like, these legends winning titles or being the top showcase in WWE. But if they come to AEW, they're all happy, huh? Isn't that funny? They were bashing Edge in WWE, but they fucking like him coming in AEW. Again, I'm in a circle where I love Edge. I would rather him be in WWE, but you know what? If he wants to be in AEW Christian, which, okay, that's probably one of the reasons, obviously. Even though it's, sad that we don't have loyalty in wrestling anymore. But if Edge wants to do it, fine. You know, let him do what. I'm still gonna like Edge because Edge is the fucking man. Edge is great, and I'm happy. At least the presentation is about the same. It's just he's not gonna be known as Edge. He's gonna be known as Adam Copeland. But he's still the radar superstar. He has the music still. It's a bit different, but it's the same type of music. He has the same type of entrance. It's the same shit. And at least that's what goes for him. It's just gonna be known as Adam Copeland. Which, okay, whatever. I'm gonna still call him Edge. Like, that's for damn sure. I would wish they could call him Adam the Edge Copeland. That would be kind of cool. That's my con. That's my problem. Like, he's not gonna be known as what he really was in WWE. You know. But hey, at least he's known as the legend in AEW. He's known as a big star, so that's something. At least that's the advantage. Like, you know, you come from WWE, you're going to already be known, and yeah. But again, my worry is that him getting injured. And again, that's kind of the problem. Like, there's no loyalty, but whatever. That's WWE's fault. I blame WWE, really. It's WWE's fault for letting him go, really. They let him go. They didn't put the effort to keep him. And then again, it's kind of it is AEW's a little gain. Is it going to be a long-term gain where they're going to get ratings? Unfortunately, no. And that's the problem. Because if they can get guys like Jericho, Sting, and all these other former, again, Christian. I mean, now if you remember Christian's a thing, and now they're doing stuff with Christian. It's been a long time we're doing it. Again, but that's the thing. They have so many wrestlers. They barely have people to showcase. It's gonna be a big problem when they don't showcase Edge, don't showcase these guys. Like, how the hell are you gonna make everybody happy or whatever? You know what I mean? I do hope they do showcase Edge as big. If you want to keep your ratings, and this is my fear, like, if you want to keep your ratings, then you gotta make sure you showcase Edge as a big star, do good shit with him, and again, don't treat him like a fucking somebody else. Treat him as a fucking biggest star possible, where he's barely loses to people, and he's basically a big star. He should be your biggest star if you have him now. But my fear is definitely, he's not gonna be the one to keep the ratings up. AEW is guilty of doing gay indie shit. Hopefully, they don't do gay indie shit with Edge. Hopefully, they protect him. Hopefully, they don't have him lose the gay jobbers, and hopefully, Edge does not get hurt. That is all I'm worried about. I hope Edge doesn't get hurt. That is all I'm worried about. And again, Edge is one of my favorites. That's the thing I'm worried about too. And that's why I think even people who are talking about Edge leaving going to AEW, like, he's basically, like, that's the problem with Edge. And I think that's the thing, like, he is kind of like a mark for himself in terms of the case that where he rather wrestle to, like, for a lot of money rather than freaking being protected, and he'll, like, Again, I'm not saying, like, as an insult, but I'm saying it as, like, I understand, like, a guy like him loves wrestling, and I love him. I love Edge, and I want to be safe, and I'm happy, like, yes. But the problem is, this is the problem with AEW, they're guilty of not protecting their wrestlers. And again, this is also my problem. Like, I don't think Edge matches the style in AEW, where AEW is more about the gay indie style, where they do flips and kicks or whatever. Edge, he does a good style of wrestling where he doesn't need to do all the kicks and flips all the time, and he should save it for big moments. They save things for big moments, and he's one of the best wrestlers of all time. He can have a great match no matter if it's short or long. My worry is that, like, he's not gonna it's gonna be the gay indie work rate style, and he's gonna try to do that shit, and it's gonna leave him getting hurt. I don't want that to happen to Edge. I want Edge to definitely wrestle the way he normally does. But it's got to be safe, and hopefully he's protected. Obviously, like, he's known for doing TLC matches and all these crazy matches in wrestling. But he needs to do it safely, too, because he is older, and he needs to be okay. They need to make sure he doesn't get fucking hurt. It's going to be a bad... Imagine if, again, this is the company he does get hurt. You don't want that. I hope Edge does not get hurt. Obviously, I hate that he left WWE because he never became the world champion. They'll get Rollins world champion, but not Edge, right? They'll fucking do that. They won't bother to keep him as, like, much they wanted. They rather push these these boring guys. They'll keep these boring indie jobbers, but not Edge, who can bring in some viewership for them. Whatever. apparently one of the reasons why again, and Edge did an interview out like the post media scrum where he talked about how he was leaving WWE. He says he does mention that he doesn't hate WWE. He loves WWE. It's just they never saw any creative ideas that would work out for each other, but they're like left on mutual terms. And I'm happy that at least like this is like they'll respect Edge. I'm hoping that will be the case where they respect Edge. But it just sucked that they easily let him go when they could have kept him if they bothered to. And the sad thing is, you want to find out is like Edge. He's gonna be wrestling full time. Why didn't he do that full time in WWE? So I guess WWE's fucking dumb. Maybe Tony Khan, at least with the advantage with Tony Khan, this like he'll be willing to give more money. Maybe that's why Edge is wrestling full time. And you know what? Hey, I would say good on Tony Khan. At least he'll give people what they want. He'll give somebody that people who actually care, who people care about, they'll have him on the show. So at least that's something. Edge will be full time in AEW. That's the advantage also. And if that's the case, then that means I'll be looking forward to AEW a bit more now. So if anything, I do come off of this. I like AEW a bit more than I used to. Because again, it's Edge. And I'm a big Edge fan. But again, I still don't like AEW in terms of it being a gay indie fed where it caters to fucking smarky fans. That's my problem. But we'll see what happens. I do look forward to what they do with AEW. Let's see what AEW does with Edge. Hopefully they'll showcase him and do better what WWE couldn't do. Again, I enjoyed his last WWE run. I did enjoy it. I think Edge did well. He had probably the best matches in his career, in his return career. Probably better matches than he had originally in his original career. But he was like the kind of Shawn Michaels effect in a way. But he had so many great matches. He had so many great stories. The storylines he had with Orton and Rollins, you know, stuff even with the Judgment Day. He even had made a match. He had a match with fucking Balor, and they were actually good matches. I'm not a fan of Finn Balor. That's how good Edge is. He makes you care about the other wrestlers in the matches. Again, great storylines. You know, again, I enjoy fucking the triple threat match at WrestleMania 37 is one of my favorite matches of like recent memory. Definitely that triple threat match. It's just a darn shame. Like Edge is gone. Like he kind of deserved. Like it just sucks that WWE won't they didn't bother to keep him because he's WWE, you know. And it sucked that they couldn't give him the World Heavyweight Championship, the title he never lost. Him actually finishing the story than gay ass Cody Rhodes. But, you know, he wanted to be there for his friend. Apparently, he also mentioned how his daughters mentioned, you know, Uncle Christian, you know, which is like, you know, hey, hopefully, you know, they'll be safe there together, you know. And I am looking forward to that a little bit. It's just like, it would be nice, like, to happen in WWE because at least he'll be more protected and they'll value him more, you know. I do feel a bit more value with that. Like, at least, like, even with Edge not there full time, you care about it. Maybe this might lead to overexposure, him being every week. We don't know. But hopefully they'll showcase him and not have him wrestle gay wrestlers or lose to those gay wrestlers. That's my problem. It's going to be unrealistic matches. Like, imagine Edge versus Ricky Starks. And that match goes like 30 fucking minutes and Ricky Starks wins. How did that make any fucking sense? You know what I mean? Edge should fucking beat that guy like 5 seconds. Okay? Yeah. I mean, so far, I'm happy with Ed. I do like him returning. I mean, him debuting. His debut was good. I enjoyed it, you know, and I do hope for the best. I hope he doesn't get hurt, though. That's the thing, and I hope he just doesn't, they don't fucking ruin his prestige, alright? So, that's my, but again, that's my problem with AEW. It's like, they're gonna not showcase him right, and they might do some bad shit with him. And again, and also, like, again, is he even going to be enough to save the ratings? Like, in my opinion, if they can have Jericho, they can have Sting, they can have all these wrestlers that are former WWE guys that people care about, Jeff Hardy, you know, but they were not enough to fucking save the ratings. Will that happen with AEW and Edge? I don't know. That's the fucking problem. But it just sucks, like, also with the loyalty thing where he's not, like, again, I'm not, like, if WWE didn't put the effort to keep him, like, what can I do? What could they do, you know? It just sucks that, like, with WWE and Edge, like, you think, like, Edge is such a loyal guy. He's, like, the Undertaker. And yet, he left the WWE. And he's like, you know, but hey, if he wants to do it, you know, He wants to like do whatever. I can't. It just I hope that he's gonna be safe and okay. But you know what? It gives you something to look forward to in AEW, so it's just okay. I guess that's something cool. It's just like, wow, really, that's the trade-off? We're going to get CM Punk in AEW and Jade Cargill. Or wait, we're going to CM Punk and Jade Cargill in WWE. Again, Punk is not official, but that's like the big tease. But we're going to get Edge in AEW. I would rather Edge, like, take back your Jade Cargills and Punks. I'd rather Edge be in WWE. At least I'll be intrigued with that. Again, and Edge was like the reason why I still watched WWE and cared for it, so now one thing less about caring about WWE, that's for damn sure. So there you go. I see it now a bit even now with AEW. Like AEW, their prestige has risen a little bit more. At least with WWE, they still have like Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar is going to be there only for a few years. But again, what I keep holding AEW is that they're still catering to smarks. They're built based on fucking pushing guys like the Young Bucks and all these fucking elite fuckers. And, like Edge, I want to see this guy, he should be the top star. He should fucking be treated as like, whatever. I just hope he doesn't get hurt too. That's the main thing. So that's my pros and cons. That's my thoughts of Edge being AEW. I do feel like it is a bit bittersweet. Like, I would like it that him being such a loyal guy, him being one of the biggest WWE stars in history, should still be in WWE biologically. That's like fucking Stone Cold, like, leaving WWE for AEW for fuck's sakes, in my honest opinion. But for some reason, they don't really care. That's the sad thing. They don't fucking view Edge as, like, the same league as Stone Cold and The Rock. And in my opinion, I do view Edge as one of those people. It's just because of like how he was so much, like he was part of so many great memories for WWE. It's like they should treat him as such. They should respect and love this guy to the point where they need to keep this guy and give him what the fuck he wants. And for some reason, the fact that WWE did not do that, they rather push and keep all these boring fucks. I don't know what to tell you. I just think this is a big fuck up that WWE has done, and screw WWE for that. And you know what? Hey, praise on AEW. You done something that will make actually people care about. And again, at least I'm a bit happy they have the same type of entrance. That's all I ask. Because at least it's the same presentation. But again, worry about his Edge getting hurt. The style of AEW. Okay, I'm not a fan of AEW style of wrestling. But and I don't think AEW has the best wrestling. Maybe now because Edge is one of the best wrestlers, but But yeah, that's my thoughts of Edge joining AEW. The pros and cons. The problem with AEW, with Edge joining AEW, and if this is a good thing, and if it's is Edge gonna be, if it's even safest thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's my thoughts on Edge. I love Edge. Hey. And again, this is not me I like WWE or hate AEW or I hate AEW or whatever, or hate WWE, whatever. Again, I hate modern wrestling. But again, what's the difference? With modern wrestling, it's not like people care about modern wrestling anymore. Modern wrestling is trash. It's really no different. Even with Edge was in WWE, the shows were still getting kind of the same type of ratings, right? But at least with Edge, you cared when he was on TV, and that segment, it made people care a bit. But the problem is that now Edge is who cares about WWE? And not just that, even with AEW, they established themselves as an indie fed, where the cater smarks, they're not going to really keep up the ratings for long. Because that's how it is. I even think The Undertaker, if The Undertaker was to debut in AEW, it would not even be enough. Because AEW established themselves as a company where they're not going to keep the casual viewer, or they're going to keep people caring about AEW besides the smarts, who are literally just a million people. It's not going to be intriguing to keep people or grow their viewers unless they actually try to make engaging, must-see, episodical television. You know what I mean, folks? But we'll see what happens, but I do think, and again, I'm not a fan of modern wrestling. It's just kind of the same thing. Even with Edge when it was in WWE, in modern wrestling, I did not care for it, except only for Edge, right? at least like I'll care something about AEW this time with Edge. It's just like, you know, it kind of like it's a little flip, right? But there you go. I kind of view it as the same thing where I don't like WWE and I don't like AEW. I don't like modern wrestling in general. But I am like, you know, now with Edge being in AEW, it gives you that little intrigue in AEW because, you know, he's there, he's a top star, he's one of the most beloved wrestlers in history of wrestling by a lot of fans. There you go. So, at least like I'll look forward to AEW a bit more. It just, again, I don't like modern wrestling because, again, with modern wrestling, a lot of wrestlers suck and they're not entertaining or just as good. They're not good as Edge, that's for damn sure. But hey, I'm looking forward to AEW. We'll see what happens with that. You know, hopefully good things will happen in AEW with Edge. I mean, again, I want AEW to get better. It's just like, hopefully with Edge though now, they'll have something where Edge, who has a good mind in the business with creative, maybe this could help Edge, like, hey, give them a good understanding that this is how, you know, I was in WWE, this is how they got successful, this is what we gotta do. Maybe that's what can happen, you know. But my fear is also the future, though. Like, the con is that in the future, when, God forbid, if Edge, like, no longer wrestles again, or he goes back to WWE for some reason, they won't treat him right, they won't give him the respect as he did, you know. Hey, whatever. I mean, but again, you gotta look at it. Like, when you think about WWE lifers, like Edge, who you would think is a WWE lifer. Same thing with Big Show. They all left WWE and now in AEW, so maybe the whole loyalty idea is kind of gone now. But again, it's also because WWE doesn't care anymore, so, you know, whatever. They'll still make the same type of money with anybody they have in their roster, sadly, so. But hey, that's my thoughts. That's my whole video. That's my thoughts about Edge now in AEW. I hope everybody enjoys, and let's see what happens, alright? Let's see some good things. Hopefully they don't fucking make Edge they don't ruin his value. That's all I care about. Alright, that's all I'm gonna say. Just keep real, get your games closed by Missy's, by Missy Bitches, go oh shit, oh shit. That's all I'm saying. Till next time, peace. Yeah, bye.